Muy buenos días o muy buenas tardes a todas y todos, y gracias por
Good
unirse.
morning and good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining our webinar today. I am Luz Opilhert, and I will have the pleasure of being your moderator of this sixth session of Agrovisiones. We will speak today with an expert of regenerative entrepreneurship in agri-food systems. Joining me virtually, we have Hannes van den Eeckhout. Hannes has a master's in business engineering. He's an expert in food systems and an entrepreneur with over 15 years of experience in Latin America, Europe, and East Africa. He focuses on working with farmer networks, agroecology, and purposeful entrepreneurship. Hannes strongly believes in the power of territorial, direct, and regenerative organic value chains as a driver for inclusive rural development. He always asks himself, what needs to be built to transform our food systems, and how do we finance it? Welcome, Hannes. How are you today? Good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here with you today, and I am very well. I am here in Uganda. Great. So he's with us from Uganda. Please let us know about how you became interested in entrepreneurship or business agri-food systems. What personal events or experiences led you to specialize in this field? Well, I am from Belgium, but I have had the opportunity to live in Peru for 5 years at the beginning of my professional career. And well, it is there where my passion started for agri-food systems, entrepreneurship, and also agroecology. It is where I have been able to appreciate the richness, the agrobiodiversity with farmers, indigenous farmers that have been working there for centuries. And I have been able to see the Andean cosmovision and their holistic way of relating with the environment, with the surroundings, with our foods. So from 2010, there has been a gastronomic boom. So a big appreciation of foods, of local foods. And I have had the great opportunity to work with Virgilio Martinez, for example. He is a Peruvian chef, the best of the world right now. And I have been able to go to his restaurant and enjoy his foods, but I have also been able to take him to visit the local farmers that we work with in our project. And well, it is there where I have been able to appreciate the real power of agroecology. And I really see this as the best system, as the best paradigm for our future and for the future of our food systems. In Peru, I was able to work with two organizations. One of them is the National Organization of Ecological Producers in Peru. Mainly, these are small producers in the coast and the Sierra and in the valley of Peru. And I have been able to work with the orchards, with the ecological orchards, led by Roberto Bugasi. Is a professor that is a leader globally, I would say. And well, these projects have been allowed us to work with different producers in training, in technical training, in techniques of agro-foods, strengthening different areas, access to market, entrepreneurships. So we have been working to connect the producers directly to the restaurants in Cusco, for example, selling their products, their ecologic products, nutritionist foods directly to some clients in some restaurants there in the city. in El Cusco. And we have also worked in political incidents. So it has been a very rich and diverse opportunity. And I really fell in love with the work with the farmers and the farmers in Peru and in Latin America in general. So I always feel like I'm from South America. So we could say that your inspiration started in Peru. Okay, let's go with the next question. You are co-founder of Rootical. What is Rootical about and who are their users? Well, after my experience in Peru, I went back to Belgium and I started developing a platform, a sales platform, an online sales platform that goes directly from the producer to the consumer. And this has been very successful in Europe. It is active in 7 countries, and from Belgium and from Holland, we have been able to connect 1,000 producers with consumers that buy per year about 12 million euros per year when I was the last time I measured there. So that is related to social entrepreneurship or the companies that are responsible, the companies that want to have an impact on our planet, a positive impact on the systems, the economical and social systems that we have. So this has a great impact, I would say. The entrepreneurship with a purpose is the base of Rootical. With Rootical, what we want to do is to strengthen the agro-food systems in countries such as Uganda through the creation of agroecological entrepreneurships. So we want to create business solutions that will help the small producers to accelerate and to start working in their transition into agroecology. So these solutions can help them to solve certain problems related to production, seeds, access to organic foods, certain techniques or tools for production so that we can help produce in an agroecological way. Or we can offer access to a market as an incentive that is sustained so that they can produce and they can sell their products in an agroecological way. So this is the impact, the theory impact. So accelerate this transition to the systems from the creation of agroecological entrepreneurships. And doing this, we want to contribute to the regeneration of the soils, the life in the soils, the regeneration of farms, landscapes, their capability of harvesting water, maintaining water, managing water, and also contributing to local economies and having prosperous communities for well-being mainly. So how did we do this? Rootical is a startup studio, as it is called in English, or business creators. So we work hand in hand with founders of local companies. In this case, everybody that we work with are from Uganda, and we help them first of all, to establish a participative analysis of the food systems, the dynamics and the challenges that we mainly want to address, that we would like to resolve. And based on this participative analysis, we identify different opportunities. So points in the systems where we can intervene, where there are business solutions. And from then on, we can have this impact that we are looking for, building this transformation of the food system. So we do it through training, providing technical training and accompanying our people that we work with, making connections with technical experts and also providing access to funding.
al apoyo financiero e
We provide
inversiones.
financial support and also investments,
Entonces,
basically.
proceso que seguimos tiene
So the process that we
tres
follow
grandes pasos. Primero, el
has
análisis
three
del
big
sistema
steps.
alimentario
The
para
first one is the
identificar las
analysis of
fuentes
the food
bacterias
system.
y las
We
oportunidades
identify the bottlenecks
empresariales.
and the
Segundo,
designs
entramos
for
en lo que se
business
llama
solutions. Then we
ideation,
go into what is called ideation. So the brainstorming,
luego ir validando las soluciones
potential
que
ideas to then
creemos más
start validating
Y
what we
después de
think
esta
is
validación inicial,
more feasible. And after this first step, we continue always talking to our consumers and the objective audience that we would like to sell a solution to or a product to. Always we work hand in hand with them, looking for the best ways to develop the business models that we are going to use in the market. So last year we started with 40 founders, potential founders, and today, 12, 13 months later, we are developing 4 or 5 businesses. Apart from this, Rootical is also an entrepreneurship in itself to, first of all, establish a portfolio of agroecological companies through the process that I just described. And then I want to show the world the financial partners and the people that we want to replicate this model with. I want to show that this startup studio model can be something that you can invest on and that can give positive yields, that can be self-sustainable as a proposal. And that is also something that can be replicated easily. Every time that we have used this model and replicated this model in other countries, we have been able to strengthen the agro-food systems in those countries. And it is also important to say that Rootical does not exist by itself. We are part of an emerging network of studies that are similar. Our main partners are in Holland, that is called Fresh Ventures. They are focused in the food system in Europe. And there's a third studio that is going to be launched at the end of this year, Overstory Ventures in the United States. And I am also in conversations with Honduras and also Indonesia to potentially identify business partners to replicate this model in other contexts and in other regions or bioregions. The third thing that we wanted to do was to establish this infrastructure, this financial infrastructure, to be able to finance the solutions that are needed to transform the food system. Thank you very much for your complete answer. I understand then that Rootical is a business creator for regenerative businesses. If you could choose one example to illustrate what Rootical means, what is the work that Rootical does, please let us know about an example that you consider successful. Well, it's a little bit early to talk about success because we're just working on the development of businesses, and we do not have big scale companies yet. Our partner in Holland does have a company that just got 2 or 3 million euros in terms of investment. They are developing an electronic collar to guide the cows when they are eating. And we want to guide them in an automatized way to be able to get the holistic grazing management, so the holistic management of grazing. And that has many substantial effects on the soils and the environment, and also the carbon capture.
Un modelo que quiero resaltar
That is an
y lo que
advanced
estamos haciendo
model.
aquí en Uganda
But I wanted to talk about what we're doing here in Uganda. This is called Eeckologic, and they are developing the market of organic inputs. We see small producers of solutions, organic solutions, pesticides, fungicides, herbicides that are natural, that are organic. But these small producers of those solutions do not get to a big market. So they do not develop over their own environment, not beyond their own environment. So we want to develop the market so that they can connect and they can serve more producers in the different parts of the country. And we are doing that with a model that is based on the farmers, the leader farmers, not only by their function, but also the people that in their communities are already promoting agroecological systems, that they already have the knowledge and that they can offer technical advice to their neighbors, to the farmers in their communities, and they can also offer solutions, biological and organic solutions. So this is a model that is very interesting, I think, that it responds to a key topic. So this comes from our analysis as a bottleneck, a main bottleneck in the development. So this is access and also availability to organic inputs. So with this decentralized model through the local farmers, we can solve this enigma or this difficulty in the market. Thank you very much, Hannes. With this example that you give us about the bio inputs in Uganda, how do you think that we can solve the tension of the entrepreneurships that consider local realities and their potential scaling?
Bueno, lo que nosotros estamos aprendiendo es
Well,
que
what we are learning is that
de forma exitosa empresas agroecológicas
to
que
have
pueden
successful agroecological companies or entrepreneurships that can have this impact that we want, it all starts with talent and local talent, the talent that knows the context, the agricultural context and the system context, because they come from inside, right? So
la mayoría de nuestros fundadores también vienen de las comunidades donde quieren
most people come from these communities where they want to solve this problem. So we could say that these are bottom-up experts. They are very connected to the problems that they want to resolve because they are part of the population that suffers those problems.
Como creadora de empresas, nosotros
as a studio, as a business creator, we focus on the combination of looking, finding, and developing that talent, plus the ideas that we need, that we are developing, and of course, adding the technical and financial resources. And that way we can prepare them to scale them up. So talent, ideas, resources. That's a little bit the ingredients of the entrepreneurship's creation. And we're working with that local talent. We're seeing how to support the founders, the talents that we work with. The other element is innovation. Rootical also has been created from this observation that there are few systems, support systems, for the agroecological entrepreneurship specifically. And second, there's a little innovation in the ecosystem here in Uganda. Many entrepreneurs are answering to different problems without knowing or without responding necessarily to the real problems, the root causes. Root causes, that is why Rootical is called like that. So that is an added value from the Rootical model. And when we talk about innovation, we do not talk only about technological innovation or technical innovation. We're also talking about reinventing the organizational models and reinventing how we are going to get to the market, how we're going to distribute the products. We're talking about sales and distribution of the organic inputs with a different model to the one that we generally see. And I'm also talking about reinventing the copyright models to avoid this financial pressure of the investors when they want to get to growth and yields at any cost. We are also rethinking the property models and working on alternative systems that are also being promoted in Latin America through Purpose Latin America. And that model is called the ownership model. We put a lot of emphasis on our work with the founders so that we can build companies, CSI companies, that is how we call them in English, that are commercially feasible and also scalable, and that have an impact or that have this potential of having a big impact in the food system. And I would like to give another example. We are working with another company that is called Gardening Fresh, and we are working in a natural fungicide to be able to control the fungus in the development of tomatoes and other fruits and vegetables. So this natural fungicide has to replace the agrochemical product that is known to produce cancer. That is why it's forbidden in Europe, but here it's still sold massively. So we want to have a product not only in the surroundings and in the farmers' economy, but we also want to respond to a big health problem, which is the use of those agrochemicals in all tomatoes that we are consuming here in Uganda. So from this holistic perspective, I am talking. We also talk about the creation of systemic businesses that can respond in a systemic way to key problems in the agro-food system. Thank you very much for the Garden Fresh example. Now, in Rootical, we talk about regenerative entrepreneurships based on agroecology. I would like to ask you now, how do you reconcile the business world with agroecology? Does that generate conflicts to you? Well, I come from the agroecological world from Peru, mainly boosted, I would say, by the NGOs. And Rootical is a response or a proposal of a model for business creation to foster social entrepreneurship in the agroecological movement. Because after my experience in Belgium, I saw the agroecological world in Peru, and also the development of social entrepreneurships in another side. So if I want to contribute to this new generation of agroecological entrepreneurs, I need to put together the two worlds. In terms of conflict, I am not that concerned. I do not see those big conflicts in the agroecological world and entrepreneurship. All producers are entrepreneurs, and there are many business people in agro-businesses, small and medium scale in all countries that I have been able to visit and go to, but I don't see a big conflict there. As I was saying before, there are 2 points that are important for Rootical. One of them is that the NGOs are not necessarily the organizations that are better positioned to develop entrepreneurships that are agroecological, because it's very difficult to develop a company with a commercial purpose and impact, but also commercial impact with a non-commercial logic or with an NGO logic. And the second point is what I had mentioned already, which is the lack of innovation. I do not see a repetition of models that are not very creative, are very unique, and they're not very well differentiated. They have limited potential for development. I said that I think that these are, I could name them as tensions, but they're not that big. Thank you, Hannes. I would like to ask you about how can Rootical contribute to the climate change mitigation? What practices are effective in this context?
Bueno, la solución o la respuesta es
well, the solution is through ecology and the regenerative culture. These are very well known, and they show this potential of carbon kidnapping and improving the harvesting and improvement of soils. In this climate crisis, I am very convinced. I have seen it in Belgium, in Peru as well. Ecology is the best way of answering to this crisis, or the triple food crisis that we're talking about. This is the third planetary crisis that we're talking about. One is the damage to soils and environment, the climate change that is a result of that, and hunger and malnutrition, the increase of these globally. And third is the inequality, the economic inequality and wealth inequality that is still increasing. Latin America is regretfully a good example. In Latin America, there is not much equality. So that, in our observation, comes from the way that we have defined the property models of the company. So, as I was saying, we work on a model that is called responsible ownership. And what we want to do with that is to reconcile the purpose, the economic purpose, and the purpose that is related to the climate change. So going back to the question, the business models that we are disaggregating, all of them, with no exception, are going to contribute to the mitigation and to the adaptation of climate change. A promotion model for indigenous seeds, for example, the natural fungicides. With the models that we are going to be developing, all of that is going to have this holistic and ecological view, and they're going to be part of the response and part of the agroecological future. Very clear. Thank you, Hannes. And now about Latin America, since you mentioned that, how do you see the future of Rootical in Latin America and the Caribbean? What steps are necessary for its expansion and consolidation? Well, thank you for the question. This is a dream for me, to be able to take our model of business creators, of startup studio, to be able to take it to Latin America, where my heart is, I would say. So being able to replicate this model with local partners is really one of the priorities that I have set for me for the next years. So here we are validating our model, and we are going to launch our second group of companies, our second cohort. We're going to launch it now in October. Our partners in the Netherlands are already working with their third group, with the third generation of the companies that have been created. And as I was saying, I am already talking to people from different parts of the world, and I want to call the different organizations, the different people that are interested in this proposal to contact us. We have a very holistic model and very solid, I would say. It is very future-proof. It is prepared for the future. And what we need to replicate is really simple. We need a person, a crazy person as myself, that has this motivation, this internal motivation of disaggregating a proposal such as ours. So we need somebody that is going to push this idea with us in their local context. We also need to localize our proposal. We have tools, processes, budgets, but we need to adapt this to the context of the countries, the priorities in the fruit systems, and different context factors. So once we do this, we are going to be ready to go to the funds gathering. We can work with different organizations, with multilateral organizations. Now we're working with different foundations. We have an embassy that supports us here in Uganda too. So we are going to be looking for financial resources to start working in your countries. And that's it, I would say. That's all we need to be able to start in a pilot phase. And the pilot phase is the development of a first group of companies that have been created, such as we are doing right now. So we start with 40 or 50, and the idea is to create companies from scratch. We're not like incubators or accelerators. We do not work with already existing companies. We start from scratch to make sure that the business model is designed to respond to the key problems that we have already identified. And we start with 40 or 50 people. We have a process where we define and we develop 5 or 6 companies. So welcome, contact me. I would really like to have more collaborations. So everything is about to happen here in Latin America with Rootical. We really hope that you can find that a partner or several partners, crazy as you call, but with this strong need and desire to start from scratch here, but with all of your knowledge, with everything that you have been able to incubate and to gain through time. So to finish, Hannes, what message would you like to send to young Latin American farmers that are eager to start their own business? Well, I would say go ahead. Do it with all of your heart. You don't have to be afraid. Entrepreneurship is really the falling down and standing up again. Focus a lot on the user. We need to develop ideas that respond to the key needs, priority needs of the users that you would like to serve. Many times farmers, so talk to them as much as you can. Our development focus of companies is really based on what is called the human-centered design. We work a lot on taking the ideas from our head and making them tangible, presenting that to our objective audience, to the farmers that we would like to serve, and look for feedback over and over again. So improving the proposal every time, but not based on what we think as experts or whatever, but based on the farmers, based on the users and what they tell us. So that is fundamental, I would say.
Piensan en hacer ese análisis del sistema.
And also we think about analyzing the system, looking for a niche where with limited resources you could have a big impact.
Reflexionen mucho.
And also
cómo se organiza
think about how you can organize your business and what property model you are going to be choosing. Because certain types of financing, I would call them extractive financing, they're always going to get you to only think in a short term. At some point, financial planification is going to be more important than the impact that you had proposed, because investors are going to want to recover their money. So be careful with your decisions. Those are fundamental for the future of the companies, of the businesses that you're going to have. And we work a lot on that too.
Además, obviamente, de repetir que
and I also would like to repeat that ecology and entrepreneurship in ecology are the paradigm that is the most adequate for the future of our businesses in Latin America and in the world. Thank you, Hannes. Well, our interview has come to an end. We thank Hannes van den Eeckhout for sharing his experiences, his time, and for this great conversation. We also want to thank all of those of you who are watching us, and I invite you to continue watching Agrovisiones. The next interview will be in October with a guest from the National Meat Institute of Uruguay. So I hope you can connect. Have a great day. Bye, Hannes. Thank you very much and have a great day.